Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the June 25th, 2024 Huerfano County Commissioner meeting. Please join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is the approval of the agenda. Mr. Young.
Commissioners, I have no change to the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Poirier,
Yes.
Commissioner Guerra, Chairman Galusha.
Yes, with the abstain on the June 4th meeting minutes. Great.
No, you were here for that.
I'm sorry. I was 18. Yep. Sorry. Yes.
All right, motion passes.
Public comment?
Consent agenda?
I'm sorry. Consent agenda. Approval of
Agenda.
agenda, consent agenda.
Motion for the consent agenda.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion second. Any discussion? Call for a vote, please.
Commissioner Guerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Poirier,
Yes.
Chairman Galusha.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Now we're on the public comments. I'll get straight here now. Paul Kronk. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Is this working, folks? I can't hear. The speakers aren't on. So I'll speak up. My name is Paul Cronk. I live at 161 Emerald Place, west of town. Is that good?
Sure.
Okay, I'm here. Thanks for having your job, folks, because I'm sure you don't get much in a line of compliments. A couple meetings ago, I was here. Spanish Peak's in. I was told they're going to start cleaning it up. They did, and they quit. Folks, it looks bad. I mean, it does. And there's also, it's not your jurisdiction, but the old hospital antique store. Is it going to sit like that for years and years? Because if it does, it just doesn't project a good image for the city and the county. And that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Yeah, Sherry.
Yes, the update on the Spanish Peaks Inn is they did start cleaning it up. The company that was cleaning it up backed into the transformer, the electrical transformer, and knocked the power out. So they came down to fix the power, but they would release the power because it had the condemned sign on it. And then the state electrical inspector said that he would not release power, that they needed to get a temporary power pole and pass through his inspections. And then he would release the power to the temporary power pole. And they got the company last week to come out, got the temporary power pole, and the state has not yet come out to inspect it, but they need the power to do the cleanup.
But the plan is to not only clean it up, but to also reconstruct it.
Yes, just the portion that is damaged.
Thank you.
Next I have Lacey Hall. Or Larry, is that Larry Hall?
Yes,
Okay.
I apologize. My hearing aids went dead this morning, so I'm struggling a little bit with hearing. I need to comment.
Please state your name and address for the
Okay,
record.
my name is Larry Hall, Hall, and my property address is 7557 County Road 570.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yep. Go ahead.
all right. Like I said, I want to comment on the RV park that Mr. Mays is talking about wanting to put in. I have a lot of trepidation about that. I have, as I understand it, the property straight across from where he wants to do this, across the river. And I have a lot of worries that a lot of bad things are going to come from this. Additional dirt, trash, noise are all worries, as well as people trespassing on my land. Our border is basically the river, so he's got one side, I got the other. They walk across the river, they're on my property. I also have a lot of concerns about things like with all of the trash and stuff that's going to be there, always is, even with bear-proof containers, we're going to have an increase in bears, other varmints, raccoons, skunks and all. They all are garbage eaters, and they are all going to be coming in for a feast. So like I said, I have a lot of concerns about that, as well as a big concern is I'll have to keep everything on my place locked up constantly. If I go down to the lower field to cut hay, I'm going to have to make sure my house is locked up, because I don't know who's going to come right across that river and get on my porch or go into my house. And the same way with my outbuildings and all of my equipment. I've got some gas tanks there to fill up my vehicles, and I can see where that could be something that people might decide they could use a little extra gas and come over and take out. So, like I said, I have a lot of concerns about negative things, and I can't really see much in the way of positive. He is advertising it as having trails. Only trails are the cattle paths down to the river. Fishing, there's not any fish in that river. There's two flows of that river. Right now it's in flood, it's high, it's muddy, it's fast, not much fishing. A little later in the fall, it's going to go the opposite way. We're going to have about 6 inches of water in there. So there's not really going to be much in the way of fishing, much to my grandchildren's dismay. They're always complaining there isn't any fish in there. So these are just a few of my concerns. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Manuel Garcia. Please state your name and address for the record.
Manuel Garcia, 7861 County Road 570, Garner. I was here a couple of weeks ago and just heard all my objections to it. And my house is 300 and some feet from the property line, but Mr. Mays never addressed that right across on the north side, we're only 30 feet apart. The county road separates our two properties. And he never addressed about, unless I listed the lights. What kind of lights is he going to have there? Most of them people up there in the Gardner Valley, they like darkness. They don't like street lights. They don't like house lights. They choose a pretty dark country. And when the former, I guess he's still president, owner, Bruce, his uncle, asked me to change my light outside when I put a light up. I changed it 3 times still. There was no satisfaction because something was always wrong with my light blinding him. Finally, the 4th time I talked to Bruce, I says, Bruce, the only thing I'm going to tell you right now, put a curtain in your window because I can't keep you happy. So he's a pretty good guy. And he said, okay, I won't bother you no more. And me and him have always worked with the leafy spurge. But since he's been sick and pretty well, I guess handicapped now, it's the field where he used to clean up is all yellow and nothing leafy spurge. And Amos says he cleaned by the road. Yeah, where you could see it, but down below, it's full of leafy spurge. It's actually yellow. And another thing he never did address, maybe I missed it, what kind of privacy fence are we gonna have if you guys agree on giving him the zoning? And here in El Paso County last week, they rejected, I think it was 6-2, the commissioners in El Paso County, for the reason that we're sort of telling you guys about it, that they objected to that one up there. And there are just too many unanswered questions that I don't know if he's got the answers for or not. And that's about it. You've heard my speech before, and I guess it ain't going to change much, but that's what it's all about. I thank you.
Thank you, Manuel. Sally Martin?
I'm Sally Martin, 7714 County Road 570 Gardner. Hear about the Mace RV Park as well. There are no other businesses in Gardner that are going to benefit from all the traffic and the trash and the noise that we anticipate as a community. And these people coming in who have no investment in this community, they're just camping. No other benefit, nobody else in the community benefits except for Mace from this RV park going in. There's not any business that's going to be generated income for. Only problems. Law enforcement is hard to get out to Gardner. I think historically I've been told they don't really want the law enforcement, but if there's tourists out there infringing on our rights to peace and quiet and dark skies, there's going to be some phone calls, and the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. And there hasn't been good behavior as far as getting law enforcement out to help citizens of that community. The only benefit I can see for the community for Mace getting his RV park is if the county appraisal district does their job and taxes his land in accordance with all of the money he's going to spend in improvements. And there's no way to be sure that that money that's brought in from his tax, if the appraisal district does that, is going to be used to improve the road that's going to suffer the trash that's going to be generated and all the problems that other citizens of the community have addressed. There's no guarantee that the money that we might get in tax from the Huerfano County is going to go towards to meet our needs that are going to be how we're suffering as a result of this RV park going in. He of course has his right to use his land, but it has to be balanced with the benefit of the community. And I just don't see any benefit to the community, only benefit to Mace from this RV park going in. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all we have signed up in person. Is there anyone online who wants to make a comment? Nothing. We're moving on to appointments. Two Peaks Fitness, Wellsburg Gym update, Gary Myler.
Is that my people?
Here it is. You brought a bodyguard?
Pardon? That has us.
The report.
Commissioners and Carl. It's before then. It's not the right to us. Very fair. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to give you an update on the Wellsburg Gym. In addition to the handouts, I brought a poster board. This is something we compiled for the Health Week at the hospital last month. Updates. Carl, I don't know if there's any place to put it here for county employees to see it.
County employees?
or if you want to keep it. maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Generate some interest. So what I have in the handout is, I'm stating that. In the newsletter, this is our summer edition, which went out to 1,100 people on, a little over 1,100 people on our mailing list. And we also printed about 150 copies, and those will be available as hard copies. Both Walsenburg and will be the locations, because not everybody has email. In addition, you have a handout that looks like this. This is, we are participating in the Chamber of Commerce's scavenger hunt that starts next Monday through Oktoberfest, I believe, where participating businesses have something that if people have to come in and take a picture of, or if the business is closed, we put it in the window and they take a picture of it there. And so what we're doing with this is promoting some of the services we have available in addition to just being a place where you can use a gym. There's personal training, we have Pilates, we have a nutrition coach, and a health coach. So we're trying to just kind of get the word out on that. Your last handout is our weather report. It's pretty concise. You can see that, well, we opened on April 1st. Right now we're open from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturday. We would like to expand those hours, and we're looking at ways to do that. We have mirrors, we have music, we have a defibrillator, AED. As we get grants, we will be upgrading equipment. We are replacing 2 treadmills already. Don't have an EPA on that, but those should be the first things coming in. So that, again, is grant funded. And we have some other things we're using grant funding to replace equipment for. So the grant funding we've gotten has been to help grow just the look and feel of the gym. We use that to get the mirrors, for example, and we'll use it for equipment. We also have recently received grant funding to upgrade our computer systems. So that's what's going on. We have, as you'll see from the charts, we have slow and steady growth. We had no idea when we opened or before we opened how many people would come. So when we started, we had more members than we had when we opened in Levita. That's great. We are not yet at our projected membership numbers. I would like to take an opportunity to visit the MOU and look at ways to continue our trajectory of positive growth. So with your permission, I'd like to schedule some strategic sessions with Carl to start talking about ways we can work together as a team. Any questions? I did include the financials as detail. I highlighted some of the numbers. It's not, some of the grants we had that came in, well, the grants that came in for equipment were coming before we opened. Actually, they came in last year. So when you see the net income, that's something to do with ordering equipment. Treadmills are about $5,700 each. And we're getting 2. That's just an example. But they don't, that's some of the information I want to go through with Carl.
I don't have questions. I'm glad to see you expanded your hours and are looking to expand them even further. I think that will be helpful. And I heard your KSBK ad, so thank you for that. Yeah, I'm not in opposition with you being with Carl. That's what we need to do.
John?
So I've concerned naturally because I want to see the county take care of its obligations, and this is not an obligation. This is a luxury, in my opinion. It's nice for the community, but it's not necessary. So for the county to put out extra funding for that, I would not be in favor of that. But that's not a worry of yours because I only have a couple more days. So
Congratulations on being a short termer, I guess.
thank you.
This was originally conceived back in 2020 as a cooperative venture, and we wanted to see how we can all cooperate together. We are, like I said, our starting numbers, I think what we projected, we basically pulled out of a hat because we didn't have any numbers to rely on from the Washington Underground. Now we're starting to have numbers, so we wanted to see, how do we get from where we are to where we want to be, and what to do in the interim. So that's what I wanted to talk to Carl about.
Okay, and I have no opposition to you talking to Carl. The county's revenues are flat. To put in additional resources into this would, in my opinion, be against what we need to do to meet our basic requirements. So that's just my opinion.
We
But
understand.
I have no opposition to meeting with Carl.
I don't disagree, but I think there's things we can do creatively to collaborate to help, maybe get some more people signed up and some more awareness.
Yeah, we as a board, we think there's just some potential lost opportunities that we're not looking at together. We're absolutely sensitive to the bottom line of the county, right? And it's in no means for us to come and ask for increases and stuff inappropriately without data to support it. And that's kind of what we want to just strategically get together.
Carl?
I have no problem with you meeting with Carl. One thing I was looking at, just some of your financials here, your expenses on advertising are pretty low. Do you have any other plans on getting more word out there for people to know you're there?
One of the ways is the marketing through the Chamber of Commerce. So we are a member of the Chamber of Commerce. We are participating in the scavenger hunt. We do have an ad we run daily on KSBK. We've been paying for that ad for quite a while. Right now we do it once a day. We could potentially increase the number of times we do that. We have found through experience that the KSBK ads seem to have greater reach than just the newspaper for whatever reason. But we have people saying, hey, I heard your ad on KSBK, like Erica just did. We've never had anyone say, hey, we saw the ad you've been running for the last 12 months in the newspaper. I don't know why, but we would probably focus on that and social media. We do social
Might
media
even
as
look
well.
at local YouTube. It's amazing when I ran, might look at the local YouTube to do an ad on YouTube. If I tell you, when I ran, I had more comments for my YouTube ad than anything. It's amazing how it pops up, how quickly it pops up.
We'll definitely look into that. Thank you, Carl, for that idea.
Carl Young, you have comments? This is your time.
He's just writing things down.
You want to join me with this?
Sure.
Okay. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. I will get to go with you on times we can meet.
Sure.
Thank you, guys. And I do appreciate what you do. I just have a hard time.
No, we understand the county does get a lot of needs. We just heard about some of them during the,
Yeah, we get it.
we get that.
All right, thank you, guys. Land use, 15-010 Walsenburg campus. Gary, you're up.
Good morning.
Morning.
Sherry Chamberlain from the land use office. All right. So this is the quarterly update for Walsenburg Cannabis. I did receive an email from Mr. Lester on June 20th. And the letter says that he is continuing to monitor the property, had nothing specific to report at this time, but would keep us posted if things changed. We did have somebody come to the window and was interested in looking at it. And I told them to get a hold of the realtor and go to the west and see if they can meet with them to go look at the property. I don't know if that ever went through or not. I never heard anything back, but that's the only other information that I have.
Thank you. Questions? Okay, thank you.
So are you wanting to keep going quarterly updates with him, or what are we gonna do with this UP?
He's still trying to market it, right? So it's just a holding pattern on the license until he gets a new operator in there or purchaser, right?
Right.
So is that your desire to continue with the quarterly updates?
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I think he's doing his job. I don't know if you need quarterly updates, but.
Well, I think they just to keep it from falling completely off the radar.
Yeah, keep it accountable.
Quarterly updates? Okay.
Land use 24-12 plat amendment Maria Lake.
Okay, commissioners. This is, let me see what page I want to get to. I'm stuck in it. So on page 36 of your packets, number 6 is highlighted on there. So with this application, Don Siki is requesting a correction of the Maria Lakes plat map. The applicant is requesting wording be eliminated and replaced. The plat map currently reads Note 6, Parcel A is for the purpose of private open space, drainage, private trails, and public utilities to be owned and maintained by the Maria Lake Subdivision Homeowners Association. And that's that highlighted area that's in your packet on that page. Wording to be replaced by Parcel A owned by Maria Lake Grazing Association LLC is for the purpose of private open space, drainage, private trails, and public utilities. Except for the Maria Lake area Parcel A, the remainder of Parcel A will be maintained by Maria Lake Subdivision Homeowners Association. So this did go to the Planning Commission. And on June 13th, the Planning Commission recommended approval to the Huerfano County Board of County Commissioners for approval to change the wording on Note 6 on the plat map. The change is to change the wording owned and maintained Maria Lake Subdivision Homeowners Association to owned by Maria Lakes Grazing Association, LLC. And
Anything to add?
no,
Any questions of the board? Is there any interest in making a motion?
Motion to approve without any special conditions.
Second that.
I have a motion to approve land use application 24-12 without any special conditions. Any other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Commissioner Evans,
Yes.
Chairman Lucia.
Yes.
Motion passes.
thank you.
Land use 20, this is marijuana 24-001 focus buds.
So are you going to come up with that? Okay. So on the focus buds, the last, when we met the last time on June 11th, June 11th, the Board of County Commissioners decided to continue this application until the next meeting, once further information was gathered by the land use staff. The following is what you had asked, and this is what we looked for. So the emergency contact information posted on the gate, that would be finished once the license is obtained. In compliance with MED at all times as an ordinance, that's once the land use license is approved. Action specifications on the filters, they're working on putting together specifications this week. They're working on it now, is my understanding from talking to Farouk yesterday on the phone, and going to submit to MED and the land use department the same specifications once they're done. The campground premises, they applied and paid for a camping permit, but it's going to possibly be just a temporary building to be a break room. There is nobody staying in the camper at this time, and it will need to follow the 2021 IBC building code for temporary buildings. And then the certificate of occupancy, we did get all the information for the greenhouse, and we are going to be able to put together the certificate of occupancy for that. And then the building permit for the hoop houses is in progress. The application has been applied for and paid for. And then the only other condition you had that we didn't get on here was the limit to 2,000, less than 2,000 plants. And with the MED license, they're applying for a tier 1 license, and the tier 1 license does not allow them to have any more than 1,800 plants. They'd have to apply for a tier 2 license in order to have more than 1,800 plants as well come back to us. So that's where we're at with all of that. Any questions?
So you said they are going for the tier 2?
No, they're just doing the tier 1 at this time. They don't have enough room in both the hoop house and in the greenhouse to achieve more than that anyway. They would actually have to have the outside grow, and they don't have anything with saying that they can do the outside grow.
So if I'm reading this right, on page 187 of our packet here, the staff comments are that that they would recommend approval of the application with those conditions: the building permit, the shipping containers, and the camping.
Oh, and yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to put that on there as well. The shipping containers, they did go ahead and pay for the conditional use permit for the shipping containers.
Questions of the commissioners?
And the applicant may be online. Brooke, is he online? There he is.
One question I had was, have they talked to the fire department about any possibility of having to go into the facility to fight a fire and any of the situation that might?
So we did send out the letter to the fire department. That was one of our referral agencies, and we did not hear any comments back from the fire department. But they have not shown us any plan of, if there were to be a fire or an emergency incident such as that.
Because I know from historical, when I was the chair of the local fire department, they had looked at going into some of the other places in town and had some real hesitancy about being able to go into some of those areas, the way that things were roped off and for lack of more precise, the way it was set up, they said that the fire department said they would not be able to go into the facility because it would be a danger for firefighters. So they had to do some changes to be able to make sure that it was safe for the firefighters to be able to do something. So I didn't know if they had done something like that or.
No, but I can get a hold of the fire. Oh, sorry.
I think that's a good thing to have for condition. That's why we have the MSDS sheets. And the general issue, Huerfano County does not have a fire marshal to regulate those kind of things. But we have often requested emergency management, the fire departments, sheriff's office to go and tour a facility, for instance, a school. When there's when it's completed, so they can see what looks like inside and give each distance for safety. I think that's a appropriate condition to put on. I don't know if that could be done beforehand or not. I think we want to be a little bit close and operational before we do that tour.
Shannon may know, or maybe Farouk, but I believe the state requires 5.
Yeah.
facilities.
Yeah, Farouk here. I hope you don't mind me jumping in. But the state does require us to include that plan in our in the application. So the state can have access to it, whether it's for the fire marshal or the police force or whatever it is.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Any interest in making a motion?
Make a motion to approve without any special conditions.
I'd second with, I would like to make sure that there would be a follow-up on that with the fire department.
So I have a motion and a second discussion. Sherry, is that staff's recommendation is no comment? I mean, no conditions?
Yeah, no conditions. It says no.
All right, so everything that was on here.
Except
was-
to follow the MED policies and procedures.
Do you have something you wanted to add there, Carl?
Did you want to add Carl's condition? The fire department?
Who was gonna follow the fire department?
That's, I think that's a requirement by the state, so. Okay. And so the motion to approve this marijuana license 24-001 without any conditions. Any other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Commissioner Jetta?
Yes.
Chairman Galusha?
Yes,
Motion passes.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
yes. Good luck.
Thanks.
Now, land use 24-008 Mace Campground, public hearing. So how are we gonna run this public hearing?
Yes, sir.
Unless you want to,
This guy's gonna give a brief overview and I'll be the hearings officer.
so Sky cannot be the hearing officer, he can't give the overview and represent the applicant, so you need to give the overview.
Okay,
And
Gotcha.
then when we invite the applicant comments, then Sky.
gotcha.
I'll bring us to see.
You can come on. And this is to be added with this packet. It just came in this morning. Okay, just give me 1 second. The big packet. Mine's different than yours.
189.
Almost there. Alrighty, all right, hearing opens at 10:39 a.m. So with this application, Amos Mace and his representative Sky Talmant request the following: a conditional use permit Pursuant to land use regulations, section 1.06, to establish a permanent 10-unit RV campground as well as an additional 10 sites for tent and car and or van camping on his property. His site is addressed at 8055 County Road 570, parcel number 29097. The subject property is zoned agricultural zoning standards for this district are set forth in land use regulations section 1.03. So the code references referenced, let's see. Yeah. So on February 19th, an application fee, site plan, letter of intent, and submittals were received by the county. The application was determined to be complete on April 10th. And we did go ahead and send out letters to the referral agencies. The planning commission met on April 25th and gave a list of conditions that they would recommend to the county commissioners to review. And then the next part. I think there's 2 staff reports in there. So on April 20, let's see, where's it at? So a motion was made by Chairman Galusha to continue and allow the opportunity for another public hearing to consider other information and clarification of other irrelevant issues for this application. Hearing is to be held on June 25th, 2024. Motion passed a 2-1 vote. We went ahead and sent out letters again to all of the surrounding neighbors. We did put the publication in the newspaper 2 weeks ago for the public hearing to receive more comments. And we also put it up on social media about the public hearing, and we posted the sign. So there's plenty of advertisement for everything. The only comment that we received back was the letter that I gave to you this morning. I don't know if y'all got a chance to read it. Yes.
Yeah.
This letter is from Pauline Adams. I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says this: hello, Board of County Commissioners. This letter is in support of the Mace Campground proposal. I'm Pauline Adams. I've been a part of the Huerfano County community for over 12 years. I want to see more businesses and economic development opportunities for this county. I lived in other parts of Colorado and can honestly say our county is economically depressed. So I'm in favor of the green businesses, like a campground, which will have a small footprint and low impacts. I see this campground proposal as a desirable asset to our community and will be beneficial to other local businesses like the Gardner Farmers Market, Mission Wolf, fishing and hunting outfitters, contractors, and beyond. I've been part of the Gardner Main Street planning effort, which identified the desire to develop economic opportunities. So this proposal is one step towards that goal. And since no other developed campgrounds exist in Huerfano County Valley, providing temporary accommodations is much needed. Service not only to guests, but also for multi-generational community members to have a way to come back and visit family in the area. Some of the community issues that have been voiced are valid and yet are entirely within planning and zoning legal framework to approve within standard county code. Its location appropriate given proximity to lumber business and vacation rental owned by the immediate neighbor. Lastly, it should be noted that all 5 planning and zoning commissioners voted in favor of this proposal, and there were other public support expressed as well. So I ask you commissioners, what's the harm in a small campground and what's with wasting county resources with this redundant review? Sincerely, Pauline Adams. And then we'll hear questions from the BOCC now. And the applicant. I don't have questions.
Did you have some of the, satisfy some of the requirements of, or conditions that that they did put forth on the water and the written what's the word, for the septic to be able to a written agreement to be able to take that stuff out and things?
I have not proceeded with getting a septic permit because I don't have a conditional use permit yet.
Yeah.
As far as the water goes, I have been in communication with the DWR as far as getting my well drilling permit approved. There's a little bit of an issue as far as they're concerned, and that the well that is a residential well on the property and the commercial well on the property, they're having a hard time in their office deciding seeing them differently, even though the division engineer has instructed them to see them differently, a commercial well versus a residential well. So they're undergoing an educational process within their own office at this point in time. But I assume that that process will be resolved in the next 6 to 8 weeks, and I'll have my commercial well permit approved. There's no legal reason for them to not approve my application.
I don't have any questions. I have comments.
Questions? Yeah, comments from the board. Shoot them.
Any questions? No questions, but comments later, it sounds like.
I'd
Okay,
like to just address, can I have a moment to address some of the things my neighbors brought up?
Please.
I have the darkest compound on County Road 570. I have no lights visible from any of the roads. If you drive up on my place after dark, you will see many of my neighbors with the overhead lights, including manual. We don't have any of those. If you drive up County Road 555 anytime after dark, when I'm not actually running the buildings, we have no outdoor visible lights. I intend to keep it that way. I'd love for the county to send out the noxious weed guy right now and do a fence line comparison. I absolutely love that, because the hoary crest is a major issue, and I'd love for that to be addressed in my neighborhood. So if you guys would like to send out the noxious weed guy and do a tour of both of our properties, all for it, 100%. As far as trespassing on the Larry's property, I intend to make sure that people don't actually cross the river. Sometimes there are people that don't follow rules. Most of the people that actually come out to visit a campground for 1 or 2 nights are pretty much law-abiding citizens. I just did 69, well, not 69, I did 18 nights traveling on campgrounds across the eastern United States. Not one of them had property concerns with next door neighbors. Everything seemed to be super peaceable. There was no police response at any of the campgrounds I went to ever. Campgrounds aren't a source of criminal activity. Just gonna throw that out there. If anybody wants to come back with statistics and show that criminal activity actually increases with a neighborhood campground, bring it on. But I don't think you're gonna find those statistics. People that come out to camp are generally pretty peaceable people, just coming out of the city to view the country. As far as businesses in the area, yeah, like I'm from Gardner, 45 years old. Nobody's tried to start a business in Gardner in those 45 years. So there's not a lot of business in the area to benefit from this. I'm bucking a trend here, and it's not necessarily the easiest trend to buck. So part of that was starting with the water world that I grew up with and became a hydrologist to buck the water trend out there. And I feel like I've been pretty successful with that. And I'd love to be the first person to have a registered public business out there in the last 4 years. So economic development, that's what this is all about.
Okay, thank you.
do we have any public comments? If we do, they need to be limited to 3 minutes.
So we have the public comments from earlier in the meeting. Can we
Right.
incorporate those into the public hearing?
I believe so.
Yes.
Okay, and I just didn't know if there was any further ones online. Okay, anybody else that didn't comment earlier? Okay.
Commissioners, if you so desire now, you can close the public hearing and have discussion and decision.
What is the, do we have a recommendation from staff before we close the public hearing?
Just recommendation is approval without any special conditions, conditional approval with the description of the special conditions, denial indicating the record or the reasons for such action with reference to the criteria set forth in the land use code or another continuation.
So those are the options that the board has. The conditions, the recommendation from the planning commission was to recommend approval with conditions that a groundwater permit authorizing commercial uses issued by the Colorado Division of Water Resources. That the documentation from said for including said commercial use permit once issued has been included and able to operate within the Huerfano County Water Conservation District's regional augmentation plan. And then any requirements that's set forth by the Huerfano Los Angeles County Health Department, including that there be a written agreement between the facility and a licensed wastewater pumping company to ensure that pumping will be done on a routine basis.
Dump station? That's what you're talking about?
The dump station, and then, sorry, the page look at me here, and also that the noxious weed manager arrived at the proposed campsite and making their recommendations. Did I catch all those, Chair?
Yeah, also that the bulk water station will serve water to the public and also provided campers.
Yeah, if the bulk water station serves water to the public, it has to meet CDPHE regulations.
And then also if they have if they put any kind of food establishment on there, it needs to meet the minimum requirements of the health department.
Okay, questions? Now, close the public hearing.
Closing the public hearing at 10:51 a.m.
It's the pleasure of the board.
I would like to make a motion to approve with the conditions set forth by the planning commission. And also with a note for discussion. In your summary to us, it says either approve with conditions or without conditions. And this one says without, but it does look like there are conditions, just something in my book.
Excellent, all right. I agree with the, also with that emphasis on the conditions.
Okay, I have a motion and a second discussion. So I would ask consideration for your motion to include a 1-year review. And then if, to just make sure there's compliance with all of the conditions set forth, and then on complaint basis thereafter. Would you consider that addition?
Yes, but with this type isn't a 1-year review typical, or do you always have to write that in?
With the resident. Okay.
Yes.
You said that?
Yeah.
Okay. Call for the vote?
Commissioner Spluter,
Yes.
Commissioner Jetta,
Yes.
Chairman Glacier.
I'm tempted to say no because I really don't like being threatened. Amos, last time, if we turn this down, you'll come back with a bigger application. That was an open threat. I really don't like being threatened. But in the interest, and I understand that people, the residents, the neighbors desire for quiet enjoyment of their property. But I just don't think this will be a big infringement, so I'm going to vote yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
That's the end of land use. Thank you. Action items, Mr. Young.
All right, Commissioners, first have to be resolution number 24-28, a resolution establishing the Board of County Commissioners authority a resolution establishing resolution for the naming of Huerfano County owned properties and establishing guidelines therefore. That could be right, that title. So this is a resolution that clarifies how county buildings are named. Right now, it's still informal. We're gonna start calling this building this until it gets on a plaque that goes on the building, and that's what we name it. So this will give some more guidelines. Generally speaking, the county doesn't name things after people while they're alive, at least till a couple years after they passed away, and minimum of 5 years, generally speaking. And clarifies how citizens can request the building to be named after someone if they so choose.
Motion to approve resolution number 24-20.
I second that.
Motion and second, discussion. Thank you, Robert, for putting this together and working on this. I like it. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff?
Yes.
Chairman Galusha?
Yes.
Motion passes. Commissioners, next I have for you resolution number 24-29, resolution authorizing the transfer of land upon successful completion of becoming a non-profit corporation cooperative. This resolution is for the Little Kansas or Watertoy Canyon Cooperative, and basically memorializes that we have agreed to transfer this property to the property owners, commissioned on them creating a cooperative, and the conduct and arrangement of a survey and easement for County Road 363, the property to be transferred.
I would make a motion to approve resolution number 24-29 with a minor change. I think you should use Watertoy Canyon as well as Little Kansas because they seem to refer to it, 50-50. So if you could just refer to it as Little Kansas and or Watertoy Canyon, I think that would satisfy both sides.
I'd second that.
We have a motion and a second, discussion. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Bruder?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff?
Yes.
Chairman Galusha?
Yes.
Motion passes. Commissioner, next time for you a special event permit for the Panda Corporation. This is for an event on it was on July 6th. This is moving the permit that was approved on the 6-4 meeting to the 7-6 date.
Make a motion to accept the special events permit, move in the date.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Have something online?
Completeness online.
Yeah, this one.
Do you have any questions?
And has his hand up.
I don't have any questions.
I just wanted to let you know, commissioners, that I'm here if you had any questions.
Okay, thank you. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Jeff?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Chairman Galusha?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right. Commissioner, next I have for you a secure transportation service license application from DC Private Investigations and Security Consultants. This application is complete. They have paid the application fee and submitted all required materials. Staff recommends approval of this license for both the service and the vehicle.
Motion to approve the secure transportation service license application.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second, discussion. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff?
Yes.
Chairman Galusha?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, commissioners, next I have for you a request to re-obligate the remainder of the American Rescue, the funding received from the American Rescue Plan Act to request specific needs and requests. In March of 2022, the American Rescue Plan Act authorized the $350 billion state and local coronavirus fiscal recovery fund, which provided $65.1 billion in direct federal aid to every county in America. Huerfano County was allocated $1,339,661 and obligated or spent all of these funds. This is a request to reobligate some of these funds for urgent needs. So what I'm requesting is a motion to deobligate American Rescue Plan Act funds as follows: $150K from Planowide Housing Projects, $201K from County Parks and Recreation, $31K from nonprofits and community projects, $20K from the Huerfano County Tourism Board, and to reobligate those funds, $302,000 to the law enforcement HVAC project, and $100,000 to the Huerfano County Economic Development for a truck driving school and industrial park. So it is a change of $402,000. Yeah. I'm on page 289. 289.
So moved.
Need a second? Nope, second, yes.
I have a motion and a second to reobligate $402,000. The ARPA money. Any other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeter,
Yes.
Chairman Lucia.
Yes.
Commissioner, next time you purchase order number 264 for Convergent in the amount of $34,540.92. Commissioners, this is for a Ricotta camera system for the Huerfano County Community Center, as well as 2 years worth of cloud services, access to those cameras online through Ricotta and Convergent. This includes both the hardware on and that software and that surface and that service. And this is presented to you in response to the number of break-ins we've had in the community center and having a better camera system in that facility for to make sure that we can identify and catch anyone else that continues to try to do that.
And this is, you said 10 years worth of monitoring?
10 years worth of cloud services, yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to do this, but we've had quite a few break-ins, so I would make a motion to approve purchase order 264, the amount of $34,540.92.
Same, I agree. It's, sad to have to spend that money, but it's necessary. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Action. I concur. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeter,
Yes.
Chairman Lucia.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Commissioners, let's have a purchase order for Huerfano County Economic Development. Purchase order number 265 in the amount of $100,000. This is for fencing, septic, water line, signage, and engineering related to the industrial park. Commissioners, I would request that you approve this on the condition that Huerfano County Economic Development and the truck drivers go enter into a economic development performance agreement with the county.
Make a motion to approve purchase order 265 in the amount of $100,000 for the industrial park, with the requirement that there's an agreement entered into, what did you refer to it as?
A performance agreement.
Performance agreement between the county and the truck driving school.
Second that, the agreement.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Thank you for doing that. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeter,
Yes.
Chairman Lucia.
Yes.
Motion passes. Commissioners, next, Huerfano County has been awarded a Dolan Energy Impact Grant in the amount of $200,000 for the law enforcement center HVAC conversion to a direct cooling system. Previous discussions have leaned towards the variable rate system that is more expensive up front, but cheaper to operate and easier to maintain. We addressed how to cover the match for that in a couple items previously with the American Rescue Plan Act funds. So the amount for this system is about $502,000. I'm going to get an updated estimate from K3, which may be a little bit cheaper. And before I present that to you for expense once we have the contract in hand. So nothing will move forward until we have the contract from DOLA.
Motion to accept the award for Dola Energy Impact Grant in the amount of 200,000.
I second that.
You have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Sure is an expensive HVAC system,
Oh, I got it.
but got to do it. And put in the building. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeter,
Yes.
Chairman Bishop,
Yes.
motion passes. Commissioners, Huerfano County Economic Development applied for and was awarded an awarded grant separate from and not including Huerfano County. Awarded's contracting team has added a provision that, without our knowledge, that the grant money had to be paid to Huerfano County. So I request a motion to approve the pass-through amount of $9,253.41 to HCD, and to instruct staff to work with HCD and OEDIC to determine the full amount of the pass-through for future DOCC approval. I think that number is around $40,000, but I need to get that exact number to you so we can prove it.
Can I ask if there are performance requirements on this grant that HCD supply those to the county for submittal? Since we're going to be the pass-through, we're going to have, if there's any reporting, we're going to have to do it.
We don't have, my understanding is that account was submitted, that application was submitted to an HCD account, not a county account. So that's where the requirements are. I can make sure that either HCD provides them to us for submittal, or that they give us a copy of what they submit.
Okay. That works.
What page is that on?
We're on
302.
302.
Sorry, yeah, that one.
Motion to approve the pass-through of $9,253.41 to HCED, and to instruct staff to work with HCED and OEDIC to determine the full amount of the pass-through for future DOCC approval.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Ford,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeter,
Yes.
Chairman Bishop,
Yes.
motion passes.
Stop working now. I'll put it next thing back up.
Commissioners, next I have for you your June 2024 vendor run in the total amount of $345,210.96.
Thanks for putting the last page first. Saves all the scrolling. Motion to approve the vendor on the amount of $345,210.96.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeter,
Yes.
Chairman Bishop,
Yes.
motion passes. I'm having computer fun. Sorry, give me one second to reorganize your thing. Commissioners, next have for you the opioid settlement agreement with Kroger. This is the participant form for that agreement, basically saying that we agree to not sue Kroger, and that we will receive the money and use it as appropriate based on the agreement of that we already, on the full master agreement like that. So participation release form gives us the authorized signatory, and we submit it to them by August 12th, and they will send us, I think via DocuSign, the final document from the office.
Make a motion. Make a motion to accept the Colorado opioid settlement memorandum MOU.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Call for the vote, please. Oh,
One discussion. This is going to be, I imagine that we will,
I think this gets rolled into the
other ones.
Region 19 funding that we've agreed to. And I don't think there'll be any individual funding coming to Huerfano County.
Kroger was the only one to ask for the release.
No, we've done the other ones.
We've done that as they come on board. We've done. Okay. Any other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Judd,
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Chairman Lucia.
Yes.
Motion passes. Commissioner, next have you a employment contract memorandum of understanding between the Huerfano County Sheriff and J. Manuel Soto, a certified addiction specialist. This is related to the Sheriff's Office jail-based behavioral health program. Lays out the contract responsibilities related to the program and to service provided to inmates at the jail. The contract will be paid $1,701.10 per month and will provide 10 hours per week of service.
Motion to approve the employment contract MOU between the Sheriff of Huerfano County, Bruce Newman, and J. Manuel Soto, a certified addiction specialist, in the amount of $1,701.10 per month for 10 hours.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Commissioner Adele,
Yes.
Chairman Lucia.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Commissioner, next have your professional service agreement between Huerfano County and Digicom Electronics. This is for Digicom service for Scott Care related to our dispatch systems. The total amount is $11,650.75.
Make a motion to accept the Digicom Electronics Service Agreement contract. Amount of $11,653.75.
Second for the purpose of discussion.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion.
I would just like to add to the motion that if E911 could pay for this, that would be great, or a portion of it.
I believe that one does pay a portion of this. I'll verify that with Brittany and on board.
Thank you.
You accept that as friendly?
Yes, absolutely.
I have, any other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Adele,
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Chairman Lucia.
Yes.
Motion passes. Commissioner, next I have your annual renewal of the salary system for the Office of Emergency Management. This includes the asset management module at $74 per year, 4 inventory applications at the amount of $600 per year total, 5 tracking apps in the amount of $750 a year, and the record tag renewal for $500 a year. Total amount is $2,600. I do anticipate in future years we can come down a little bit on this, but this is a service that we need for both our ID cards and also for in the middle of a disaster, if we have to deploy equipment, this is how we track that equipment being deployed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Huerfano County Emergency Management Settlement or renewal in the amount of $2,600. I don't know if this would fall under the umbrella of E911, but it's worth asking. Not at all,
Not at all.
even if it's for disasters and 911.
It's not to do with 911 at all.
Okay.
Have them do it when we deploy. We typically deploy most often in the situation is road and bridge equipment.
Okay. So approval.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier,
Yes.
Commissioner Adele,
Yes.
Chairman Lucia.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Commissioners, next I have for you a change order request request to approve a change order for moving the insight system from our Motorola spillman agreement. This will save us a little bit of money on this system. The sheriff's office told me that that's no longer required, and dispatch emergency management concurs. We will, once I have the exact amount, I will report that to you.
So I have to approve the change order for removing Insight from the Motorola agreement.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. I would just admonish Brittany in the future, have a number before we do approve a change order.
I will.
At least it's saving money.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Chairman Lucia?
Yes.
Motion passes. Commissioner, staff, you a request to extend our 2023 Judicial Department Underfunded Cross Facility Award. This request is to clean up for one more quarter. We're going to work with a new contractor to analyze the training room. The acoustics in that room are still not quite where the courts would like them. As you can see so far, we've only spent $450 out of our budget for this project, so we anticipate keeping this as low as possible to get that completed and have that room be functional.
Make a motion to oops, wrong page.
Page 344.
I'll make a motion to accept the Colorado Judicial Department permission grant extension. for Huerfano County.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Chairman Lucia?
Yes.
Motion passes. And commissioners, that is the end of action items.
Okay. Moving on to correspondence.
Right, commissioners, item 8A is a CPSI health awareness on Alzheimer's and brain health. Item 8B is to update the CPSI on new labor rule redefines exemptions. Just so you know, I did look at this. This will not affect Huerfano County, from my understanding. Of course, check with employees council and our attorney to make sure, but this essentially does what Colorado did a few years ago at a lower amount, so it won't change much, if anything, for us. 8C is to update CDSI on wildfire mitigation. Item 8D is your leave balances as of the last payroll in June. That's Friday. Item 8E is the treasurer's monthly report. Okay. 8F is your preliminary expenditure report for May 2024. 8G is your May 2024 revenue report. And that's in the correspondence.
Questions, comments? Staff reports, County Administrator.
Commissioners, one thing that I'd like to flag for your request to your assistance on, CEPHE released its final rules for emergency medical services, including that which governs ambulance licensing in the state. The local authorization to operate is still required unless we opt out of the system. So the license for Spanish Regional Health Center was clear this year and expires on June 30th. I request that you extend it for another month so that I can give them just some time to put together a resolution that gives them the 2-year authorization to operate so that there's no gap in their authorization.
So moved.
I get that.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Coogan?
Yes.
Commissioner Ardetta?
Yes.
Chairman Lister?
Yes.
Motion passes. Other than that, we are going to work on a number of fronts. We've got the CIPA grant submitted that includes Tata Technologies suite. I submitted that for the full $200,000. I included some extra funds in there for importation support. I did meet with Roger Tinkelberg from the city regarding building permits. And he's going to take that to city council and come back to us with a direction in which way they want to go.
Do we meet tonight?
And I think they might have a workshop tonight, but then the next regular meeting is the 2nd. Other than that, we are just rolling on our project. Nothing major to report this time.
Other than you, as always.
Oh, yeah.
No attorney report. We have a need for executive session for discussion of a matter required to be kept confidential by the following federal or state law, rule, or regulation. CRS 2472-2043A, subsection 4, under Colorado Revised Statute, section 2464024C. Specifically, discussing documents that contain trade secrets and/or confidential commercial or financial information about mission team impact.
Make a motion to executive session.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second for executive session discussion. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Spillier?
Yes.
Commissioner Andretta?
Yes.
Chairman Alicia?
Yes.
So commissioners, before you go into executive session, there is a hand raised by Eric.
Eric?
No decision to be made.
Turn on your mic.
You're muted, Eric.
That better?
That helps.
I tried looking this up on Mission Team Impact, and I don't know what that is.
These folks came to us, was it 3 or 4 months ago? Might have been last year.
At least.
And presented to us about wanting to do a youth rehabilitation facility.
They were interested in the Rio Cacharas, correct?
Yes, among other properties. And what
Okay.
we're going to discuss is they've sent us a more comprehensive version of their idea, and we're going to review that.
Okay. I saw things that look similar to that when I was researching this morning. My other question has to do with the item that Mr. Young expanded on at the end of the last meeting regarding this duplicate checks or check fraud, or what is being done at this point? What have you found out? What are the steps being taken?
So, as I mentioned at our last meeting, we have locked down the account that the checks were written into. That account has remained locked, and we are only issuing checks that have been called positive pay. Basically, when we write a check, we have to send the check to the bank and say, hey, we wrote this check, it's good to go. And the bank matches it up, and if they get a check that we don't send them, they send it to us to confirm that is this check valid or not. We're also taking steps for new security checks and possibly rearranging bank accounts, things of that nature, some of which I don't want to go into in a public session because it might ruin its effectiveness. But I think at the moment, I can say with some confidence that we have eliminated the future risk of additional checks being written out from this incident, and we're working on making sure that that does not happen again, cannot happen again.
Thank you.
And then Commissioner, if you allow me and your staff a little bit of a point of personal privilege.
Sure.
Chairman Galusha, on behalf of your staff and your fellow commissioners and fellow elected officials, we want to thank you for your service to Huerfano County, and we have a little bit of a gift for you.
That's a lot of money. Oh, my goodness. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We promised you no planks.
I appreciate that too.
And we didn't get into your stash.
That's good. I'm passing that on, but says he'll need it.
All right, now we're going to executive session.
Yep.
We're recessing the regular session and we're going into executive session.